Good morning. Welcome to Equity Development. My name's Andy Smith. I'm one of the life science analysts at Equity Development. And today I'm joined by the chairman of RUA Life Sciences, Bill Brown, who's going to be talking about their trading update that RUA announced today. And then we'll talk about the also recent developments on the large bore vascular graft. So good morning, Bill. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fitting well. Thank you very much, Andy.
Okay, so you've announced a trading update today, largely unexpected. The numbers were the change to the numbers were in our forecast, but there is always the effect of the pandemic in these sorts of businesses. Would you want to give us some detail and some thoughts on the trading update?
I mean, it's pretty uneventful, to be honest. The biomaterials business, we saw a slight drop in, what we would ordinarily have expected. Mm-hmm. I think we saw there was in earlier months of the year there was a build up of stocking in some of the underlying licensees, which resulted in fewer deliveries in the second half of the 6 month period. But knowing what the underlying minimum order quantities and whatever are, we're pretty confident we'll catch up the second half of the year. So it's really just timing. The RUA medical device business, we sort of highlighted earlier in the year about the impact it had with its main customer. That main customer now seeing their own orders up at pre-COVID levels. We're seeing the monthly order intakes being 90-95% of where they were before. So we're seeing a catch up in that. So nothing dramatic or unexpected in it. I think we've fared better than most during the pandemic. I'd rather be running a life sciences company than a pub, to be honest, just now. So.
Yeah, and that sort of fits with what we've talked about in our note this morning. We've seen some much bigger life science medical device companies see that bounce back in orders and elective surgeries in between the end of the second quarter and the end of the third quarter. So that those hopes for catch up are there with everyone and are largely expected. And your most recent announcement before the trading update, and actually the trading update itself, talked about the large bore vascular graft, the progress that's been made, and then potentially some hints, possibly in Europe from your trading update, on commercialization. Do you want to talk to us about that, Bill?
Yeah, I mean, if I just step back a little bit about the large bore vascular grafts, the large bore vascular grafts were a product that were specifically designed to get to the market relatively quickly and specifically to improve existing products that are in the market. It's been a range of products that we've looked at to follow the FDA 510K process, which is a much faster, much easier process than what's required for other devices. So where we are is that we have design frozen. The grafts are currently undertaking the testing required to get approval in the US. So whilst that has been going on, we've been concentrating our efforts in looking to get commercial partners and OEM and distribution interest for the grafts. So from an OEM perspective, we know that the grafts have got huge advantages over the competing technology that is in the market, and I think been recognised by some of the big OEM potential customers, and we're actually currently quoting on a very exciting device. From the distribution aspect, we've made initial contact with distributors in North America, and they've been hugely receptive to the idea of distributing our products into that territory once we get approval, and they're looking to provide whatever help they can do in looking to prepare the market for launching that. So we're quite excited. The bit that came from left field was actually some of the European distributors that some of my colleagues have dealt with in the past, have come on and said, look, you've got these products, when can we have them? We're looking to distribute them. So we're probably going to be accelerating the path into Europe. We've got to see how things, we might be able to get into the UK quicker with some the new regulations that are coming in here. But it's certainly, that's everybody that hears about the product seems to be quite excited by it. So we're very enthusiastic about the future prospects for the grafts and the patches as well.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. That sounds like real tangible developments for the large bore grafts and then patches following after that. And can I just ask, because I believe you were there at the implantations, and the your previous RNS announcement noted better performance in terms of less bleeding and less porosity than the comparator product. Was that something we can take forward, or might it just be equivalent?
What we're looking to prove it to prove in for the 510K process is what they call a substantial equivalence.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And we've certainly got, but my observation of, I mean, it was actually a cardiothoracic surgeon rather than a vet who was implanting on the sheep. He was able to cross clamp the sheep's aorta and cut and insert the polymer sealed graft within 14 minutes of kind of starting the procedure, which certainly indicates that the suturability and the implantability of the graft is as good as anything there is in the market just now. There was no leakage from it at all. We saw probably an improved performance at the anastomosis line, which is where it's been sutured to the native vessel. And the polymeric sealant does appear to seal round the suture as well. There was a vascular surgeon there who ordinarily is implanting the competing technology that we're looking to replace in the market. And one of the issues with that is if the surgeon rubs the graft, it will start to leak because the collagen or gelatin starts to come out. He was rubbing away at our graft for at least a good few minutes. Nothing was coming. The graft is completely sealed, completely dry. So performs at least as well as the competing technology, which is what we're having to prove for the 510K process. I think it's got some surgical benefits, and certainly from an OEM perspective, it's got a number of manufacturing benefits as well.
Okay, that's very positive. So my thanks to Bill to give us that detail on the trading update this morning, and a little more detail, and perhaps some of your more squeamish investors would like, on the implantation of their next product, their first product to come out of this. Thanks for your time this morning, Bill. And if you'd like more detail on our research on RUA Life Sciences, and to watch this video and to watch other videos, please join us on our website at equitydevelopment.co.uk. Thanks for listening and watching.